Welcome back to Capitol Review. I'm Mark Hall. President Trump taking aim at the Smithsonian Museum, saying that some of the exhibits and stories told are anti-American. He threatens to pull funding for what he calls the promotion of divisive, race-centered ideology. Joining us now is Dr. Omeknogo Dibiga with Upstander International. He's also a political science professor at American University. Dr. Dibiga, welcome back to Capitol Review.
Thanks for having me.
You hear the president say that history, or part of history, which I look at as black history,
Yes.
is divisive. What's your reaction to the steps that the president has taken with this latest executive order?
It's very frustrating. And if you look at even his first term, when you look at the launching of the African American Museum, which became the most popular museum at the time, he toured the museum with then head of the African American Museum, Lonnie Bunch, said it's a great job, great people doing incredible things. And now they're calling him a partisan Democrat now because he runs the entire Smithsonian Institution now. They're saying his book is garbage, he's trash, and that this museum is promoting anti-American ideology. And so it's very frustrating. We already knew that he had racist ideas. Many people call him racist within itself because of his policies, but now he's going full steam ahead with things that he didn't do in his first term.
To go full steam ahead, is this to make certain segments of the population feel better? Because some say it's not going to affect their bottom line. It's not going to bring down the prices of groceries. It's not going to help them live better lives financially. What is this move about?
This isn't doing anything for groceries or anybody's economy. This is about the Trump administration ending soft power. When you look at things like the State Department's International Visitors Leadership Program, where they would bring in people from overseas who are journalists and politicians, scrapping programs like that. You look at USAID. People come from across the world to visit all of the Smithsonian museums. It's part of what promotes American values more than anything else, but people aren't going to come here to see that because he wants to shut down the parts of the museum that don't represent American ideology. This is a president who fundamentally does not believe in the concept of soft power, and he wants to get rid of anything that's doing that, and he's using racist ideas and ideology in his methods of doing it. What
disturbs you the most, or what catches your attention the most about this?
The way that they're talking about, we want to get rid of anything that doesn't represent real America, true America. What is that? How do you want to define that? Because most of us who are reading it means anything that doesn't represent white Christian manhood has to go. And that includes stories that celebrate white women as well. I believe that they want to get rid of all of that. And so we're just looking at ways for them to continually exclude everything that makes up what America is. You know, Julian Bond said, if you take the letters of America, it spells out I am race. Right, if you switch it around, because race is at the heart of everything that has happened in this country. It's a story that needs to be told. It makes up America.
You talk about a story that needs to be told. Moving forward, should the story continue to be told at kitchen table discussions and in the classrooms? Moving forward, what should be done?
Well, when it comes to the kitchen table, I would say it needs to actually start, because some kitchen tables don't have this conversation. We need to continue to make America as good as it's promised for everybody. And that means schools, universities, corporations, government groups. Everyone needs to have this talk, because it makes America stronger when we understand our history, because when we understand the lessons of the history, we're not going to repeat them again. That makes America better.
Dr. Dibiga, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.